Let's talk for a few moments with Gideon Falter, chairman of the Campaign Against Antisemitism, in light of that decision by the Equality and Human Rights Commission to investigate Labour's response to antisemitism and the presence of antisemitism, the alleged presence, scale of it, in the party. Gideon, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Sheila.
I mean, I was going to say, do you welcome the decision? I guess you don't welcome the decision, but saw it coming, maybe?
We do welcome the decision because the Commission has taken an unprecedented step here in investigating a mainstream political party. The only other political party that's been investigated in this way is the British National Party. And so the Commission has taken a very necessary step. But of course, we lament the fact that this has been going on now for years. We've been begging the Labour Party under Jeremy Corbyn to take action against anti-Semitism within its ranks. For a long time, we thought that they would actually do something about it. Instead, we've just seen constant failure to deal with the problem, constant, really, dismissal of the Jewish community, and that's why this has become necessary.
There are still people within and without the party who say this is all smear.
And I think that's exactly symptomatic of the problem. What we do see, though, is we see the deputy leader of the party, Tom Watson. We see the shadow foreign secretary, Emily Thornberry. Just today, another Labour MP has added their voice saying, actually, we need the Commission to come in and investigate this. Rosie Duffield said that today. She said, we need the EHRC to come and help us sort it out, someone more independent. And you just have to look. If the Labour Party does want to deal with the problem, look at how fast they've expelled Alistair Campbell today. Within moments, the man who was responsible for one of Labour's greatest successes has been thrown out of the party. Now, that's how fast they can act when they want to. But then it took 3 years to expel Jackie Walker. It's taken just as long.
Tell me what she did, and did it warrant further investigation? Because the reason I ask you that is my guess is that Labour's response to that will be, Alistair Campbell said on national radio, I voted for a party other than Labour. He broke a basic rule of membership. He had to go. Proven. There it is. There's your proof. That's all you need. But an allegation of anti-Semitism needs investigation. So what did Jackie Walker do?
Jackie Walker said pretty concretely in a Facebook post that Jews were the principal financiers of the slave trade. And she then went on to make various other comments about Holocaust Memorial Day and security at Jewish schools, which ultimately led to her expulsion from the party.
How long did it take?
It took 3 years. And during those 3 years, she was welcomed by Labour Party branches to do a sort of one-person show. She did like a sort of travelling show around the UK about what she thought was her unfair treatment, repeating constantly the lie that this is all smears, that Jews have basically... And if you look at this allegation that what Jews are saying about anti-Semitism and the Labour Party is smears, in order to understand that, you've got to unpack it. And if you unpack it, what you see is that what people are really saying is that Jews have all colluded somehow as some part of vast conspiracy, including every major Jewish organisation, every Jewish newspaper, every denomination of Judaism, most of whom don't disagree on very much, and that we've all decided to collude for some reason in attacking Jeremy Corbyn. That's anti-Semitic in itself.
Let's go back to the EHRC definition of anti-Semitism, which was fuel to the fire here, wasn't it, a year or so ago, or perhaps 2 years ago now. The Commission has said it may well have recourse and take recourse to the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's working definition of anti-Semitism and associated examples. That very definition is something that Jeremy Corbyn and others in the leadership of the party reject, or certainly partly reject.
Well, actually, they've adopted it now, and
there was strong argument that it was essentially a Zionist Trojan horse.
Well, there was. I mean, every organisation in the UK, including every other major political party, and we're talking the Crown Prosecution Service, the College of Policing, serious organisations, including the government, adopted this definition pretty much instantly, as did other political parties like the Liberal Democrats, like the Scottish National Party. And the Labour Party stood out as the sole organisation which did not want to do anything about adopting this definition. They tried to change it, they tried to reject it, and eventually they were shamed into adopting it by the national media saying, what on earth is there in this definition to object to? It's a very simple definition of anti-Semitism. Why is it that the Labour Party thinks that they know better than Jews around the world in defining anti-Semitism? And so eventually they adopted it. Now, the fact that the Equality and Human Rights Commission is going to use this definition is very significant, because it means, first of all, that Labour has claimed to have held itself to the standard of the definition all along. So we're going to find out from the Commission whether or not they actually did that. And we're also going to see the Commission going into a lot of detail. The Commission has powers which were actually given to it by the Labour Party in 2006 to compel the production of, for example, WhatsApp messages between Labour figures. They can ask Labour figures to come in to give testimony. And once they've gathered all of this evidence, they've looked under every stone, they have really examined what Labour was actually doing when it kept saying that it was dealing with anti-Semitism, what was really going on. Once it's got all of that, the Commission can actually impose an action plan on the Labour Party and compel them through the courts, if necessary, to take whatever measures the Commission sees fit to protect British Jews.
Are they doing the job that Shami Chakrabarti didn't?
This should never have been necessary. Shami Chakrabarti issued a report, the first sentence of which says that there's no serious problem with anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. She issued recommendations nonetheless, and those weren't implemented. And if you look at why a lot of people have been asking, why has there been such a delay between the beginning of March, when the Commission initially said it was taking pre-enforcement proceedings against Labour, through to today, where the Commission has actually decided to open a statutory investigation. The reason for that huge delay is that the Commission has been going to the Labour Party saying, look, we don't necessarily want to investigate you. What action are you proposing to take to reassure us that you're serious?
And they found that wanting, obviously.
And they have been left so unconvinced that they've decided they actually have to make this only the second party in history to be investigated with a statutory investigation.
Thank you, Gideon, for talking to us. Gideon Falter, chairman of the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism. Let's